This is a short video on self-help, how you can help your headaches and even migraines. So I've written a few articles, if you look on my website, on headaches and migraines, and I haven't really talked about self-help that you can do to perhaps help yourself should you be unfortunate enough to suffer from one of these. So let's go through a few of them. I'm also going to demonstrate a few self-help techniques. You're probably wondering why I've got this knob of ginger, but that will become apparent in a minute or two. So one of the first thing to do if you've got the headache, let's think of some practical things. So if you suffer from a migraine, there's considerable evidence that putting on a cold pack onto your forehead around here, just use you can get some ice cubes, smash them up and put them on your forehead, or you can have a bag of frozen peas or corn if you prefer, broad beans, anything like that, and you leave it on for a few minutes. And do remember to put a towel or a piece of paper between the frozen pack and your skin, because believe it or not, you can get skin burns from ice, so do beware of that. So put that on and alternate it, and see if that helps just to calm it down if you really in the full throttle of a full migraine, including visual disturbance and the full throbbing headache. Both you can certainly try that. The other thing to try, another thermal what you would call it, application, would be a hot compress. Don't use this really for migraine so much, but more for the normal type of cervical headaches, tension headaches, where very often you get tension right at the back of here, of your head, and you put a hot compress, hot towel. You can use these grain soothers that you put in the microwave to heat it up. Actually, you can use those for the cold packs as well, put them in the freezer. But you put that on the back of your head, and you warm up the back of the head. It's very relaxing to the musculature, because very often associated with these sort of headaches is muscular tension, and that can help just to relax it. You leave it on for a few minutes and see if that will help just to take the edge off your headache. Third thing, and this might seem a bit strange coming from me, but if you have a ponytail, now I can't really demonstrate that sadly, but if you have a ponytail, if it's very tight, very often traction, I will imagine I have hair, but coming from hair, putting a traction on your scalp, there's some evidence that can actually cause headache. So basically to release that, take all the tension off there, and that can certainly help reduce your headaches. Obviously, which you probably do naturally if you've got migraines, you can switch the lights down, because bright lights obviously affect it. I don't have to say hydration of some importance. Keep drinking water. So if you drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself. There's some evidence for that to help headaches, both migraine and tension headaches. The next thing is caffeine. Now that might surprise a lot of you, but if you look at headache pills, a lot of them have caffeine in them. And the reason for that is that caffeine is a known vasodilator, which means it dilates blood vessels. And there are some journals of pain and headaches. I think it was written in 2015 or 2016, which showed that caffeine, even by itself, like a strong coffee or my favorite, an espresso, if you drink that will help to, in some people, reduce headaches. This is useful for both migraine and tension headaches. In fact, there's some evidence that caffeine does help migraines overall if you have that, if you drink a little bit. But there's some evidence for it. It doesn't, in the studies, it doesn't really say if this is best when you start the prodromal symptoms of altered vision, or whether you do it through the full bang of the headache, because normally when you in a migraine, when you get the headache, it's due to increased dilatation of the blood vessels. So, but you could certainly try both and see if that can help. Then there's a couple of substances you can have, minerals. Magnesium. There's some suggestion that, there's a study done in, again, around 2016 or 17, which showed that magnesium might abate the strength of a headache. So you could try that as a supplement. And the other vitamin that might prove useful is B vitamins, B complex, particularly folate, B12, which you can take as a supplement. For those of you that are vegans, you always have to be aware of B12 because you can become deficient quite easily, because it tends to be in a lot of milk products. But you can either take it as a supplement, but also if you're older, you may not absorb it from your stomach. So it's important, if you're say over 60, sometimes to have a blood test to see what your B12 level is like, because if you're if it's low, you might have to use that as an injection, and that may prove helpful. But if your B12 is low, you need to be on a supplement anyway for different reasons, which I won't go into on this video. Lastly, and that's why I have this knob of ginger, there's a lot of evidence that actually ginger tea helps. So and I would say, rather than get a supplement of ginger or ginger sweets, the raw ginger is the best and very simple to use to make a quick tea. So a quick tea, I'm sure you know this anyway, but I've always been a big fan of Jamie Oliver, and I don't hope to stand up to his great culinary expertise. But all you do is you have a knob of ginger, and if you want to peel it, quick trick, use a spoon to take the peel off, just like that. And you have it as strong or as weak as you like. So I'm just going to, for demo purposes, just take a bit of the skin off there and use the thin part of the grater. You just grate it down, and with that you can dissolve that with, if you can see, with water, or if you want the, let's see, if you've got a bit of cloth, you can have big lumps like that, as it were, and you can put that into a small cloth bag and dissolve, put that with hot water and get the ginger, the oils that will dissolve in there, and drink that with, and if you want to flavour with a bit of honey. So do try that as well. Now, the third part is really what you can do yourself manually to your head and your neck to help try to abate your headaches. So we're basically going to use what are commonly called acupuncture points on the forehead and around the eyes. And what you do, if you have a headache, is that you get your finger or your thumb and you use strong pressure on them, and you use circular massage techniques around there. So one point to use is just, if you go to the edge of your eyebrow on both sides, and you just move it in and out like that for about a minute. So you feel a sort of tenderness around there, and just move it back, and sort of circular movements like that. And see if that starts to abate some of the headache. It can work quite quickly, so you do it for about a minute. So that is one important point. Another important point is just from if you go to the middle of the eyebrow, about a finger breadth above there, you can use right over there. And this coincidentally is quite good, or very good, if you've got sinus type headaches, which I know some of you have. So you can massage around there to try to abate the headache. Just move it back and forth like that. That's another point. In case you're interested in the names, this is called gallbladder 14. This is a place called Yuyao, Chinese. So that's just for your interest. There's another point here. You take the eyebrows and go right to the edge in the temple, in a type of hollow. And again, use your thumbs, or you can use your forefinger, whichever you want, and you just massage it back and forth like that. And obviously you do it where you feel the head pain. So some people might get one-sided head pain, just use that side. It's pointless doing the other side. Unless it won't do you any harm, but you won't need to. So just move back and forth. And again, for those of you with sinus type headaches, go to the edge of the nostrils, right by the lines that go around there, right parallel to the nostrils, and you massage around there. Again, that can help sort of sinusitis pain, particularly of the maxillary sinus, which is around here. Now the last point, which is the other very important point, go to the back of the head, just where the spine meets the scalp. Just on the edge, you'll find a couple of little dents. And you again use your thumbs, put them in there, and you massage around. This is particularly effective for those of you with osteoarthritis of the neck, or you have tension headaches. You can completely, if you really go deeply in there, move it back and forth, and you almost get it like an ache. And sometimes you can distribute pain going over the forehead, which is a common distribution pattern. Moving back and forth to help to relieve that. And you certainly, if your neck feels tense, you can go up and down your neck and do the same thing, up and down. Now, many of you present when I see you. Often there's headaches, but there's also a lot of shoulder tension in the trapezius. That this muscle, that is like a little hillock going up there. If you've got the dexterity and you can get there, you can even use one hand to go on there, particularly where it feels tense, and just get your finger in, and then you feel it. Yeah. Move it, just massage it back and forth. Yeah, you can use up. And that can be, again, helpful in the tension type headaches. You can do the opposing arm around there. But it's a bit more difficult to do because you've got to be able to get there. But it's very useful, particularly for the for tension type headaches. Now, lastly, I want to talk a little bit about chewing because there's a lot of evidence that tension in the jaws can produce headaches as well. There's more than evidence. It's very, very common that people who grind their teeth at night are under people under tension grind their teeth at night, and this again can cause headaches. So when you have a headache, basically at that time, don't chew too much, i.e., keep hydrated. But also, very important, if you feel that there is tension in your jaws, it might be worthwhile having a chat with your dentist about getting a mouth guard so you don't grind your teeth at night, which causes tension in here and can be an instigator of headaches. Yeah, so that's an aside. It's a whole different topic, which I won't go into, but I'm just mentioning it as one of the big driving forces of headaches. So I think there we have it, and hopefully those tips might be of some use. Let me know if you like them, or let me know if you want more tips about any other condition. Thanks, if you have watched it, thanks very much, and I hope it helps should you get a headache, and hope to speak to you soon in another video.